The adult the adult beverages are poured, the kids are asleep, and it is time for New Dad Gaming, a show about gaming, fatherhood, and new fathers figuring out their gaming lives. My name is Trevor, and I have a 10-month-old.
My name is Gavin, and I have a almost 9-month-old.
My name's Jeff. I have a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old.
Nice, Steve. Man, all the gang's back together. Look at this,
Yep.
all three.
Look at that. Look at that.
Nice.
Achievement unlocked.
Launch party. Let's do it. Come on, I'm dressed up. Are you dressed up? Come on, we got our collars on and everything.
Yep, there we go. Yeah.
Well, the picture of me that's
rocking the
showing is pretty
headshot.
dressed up.
It is pretty dressed up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is true.
That's
Clean
I think
shaven.
that's
So for folks,
the
so
pinnacle
for folks
of
on the
fancy.
audio, yeah. So for folks on the audio, I couldn't afford a video stream this week because I'm using mobile data in a foreign country.
I prefer
So
Mobular.
instead of having
I
avatar,
I like that word too. Can we do a mobular? Mobular.
I was
Mobular.
hoping to talk through that that word blowing,
No.
Nope.
but yeah. Anyway, so yes, it's a photo. I think that photo of me is 10 years old, and it's probably about the best photo I've ever taken.
You look very mature for a
It's how I-
10-year-old.
Pre-kids.
Son
You
of a
gotta-
three kids. Thank you. Yeah. This is how I choose to be remembered. This is what I look like. Assume
An all-knowing bubble that talks to us. Deliver us
with
wisdom.
with a smile and a purple background. So,
Yeah.
so gentlemen, how was your week in fatherhood and gaming?
Gavin, you want to throw it?
Sure. Well, I guess I got a few weeks, but it's been pretty good. We moved, hence the change of scenery behind me.
Woo!
But fortunately, it was in the same building, so that was nice. So I could actually kind of take elevator rides and assemble furniture and just get all. Basically, I was just
Assemble furniture in the elevator? Because that's even better.
Oh yeah. Yeah, let me sort of prep the place pre-move and get that all set up, which was handy. So I was like anchoring furniture to the wall, so that way when baby starts climbing on everything, it should
Oh,
be
yeah.
safe. Yeah, it alleviated some of the bonus difficulty of moving with a baby, because that just cranks it up to 11. So it dialed it back down to like a manageable 10. Yeah, it was an adventure. And as far as gaming goes, I've been finishing off a few games. Finished off Just Cause,
Nice.
Wolfenstein: The Old Blood, and I had my first experience, which we'll probably talk about in a little bit. It was the first time for me. I fell asleep with a game controller in my hand.
This is setting the bar for all dads everywhere. Just falling asleep.
Sacrilege!
It is.
How dare you?
You're engaged in the game. This is hard to do. You must.
But that's but there's the rub. I was not.
Okay, there we go.
And I think that
Like
was actually.
It better have been like better have been like a really slow, quiet game like Animal Crossing or something. If it turns out you fell asleep like during Doom or
No, it's Metal Gear. He's
Wolfenstein,
just
as you
camping
mentioned.
out. He's just crouching and just waiting.
Okay, so like I'll quickly explain the situation since it's obviously fresh and you guys want to hear about it. It was, and the game is enjoyable. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to, tear into them, but the order is very cutscene heavy, with a lot of whispering, a lot of.
a
So
lot
what
of
you're saying is that this
It's
game
just-
just kind of rocked you to sleep, just kind of
Just the
like a little lullaby.
dulcet British whispering.
look
It
over
was-
there. There's a werewolf. You
Yes.
should go very quiet.
Exactly.
Well, the
And,
dude's got a mustache too. It's probably kind of.
yeah.
You watch the waves and the rustling.
It's like if Mary Poppins had to deal with lycanthropes, I guess.
Wow. See, now you say that, and I just bought the order, so I got it on the flash sale,
Yeah.
and I've been having a great time with it. Yes,
No,
the
I've been
cutscenes
enjoying
are
it too,
long,
but
yeah.
There's also, here's the other factor too. We have a new coffee table, bench, ottoman kind of thing. I have this, and it's hereditary. My dad has it too.
Uh-oh.
If my heels reach a higher elevation than my hip, I will fall asleep.
We need a diagram. We need to illustrate this.
Yeah, somebody draw it up. But even better, like tell me that your kid has this, because that would be such a beautiful trick.
I think it's something
like you just have to
like adulthood. It would be a lot handier now if I could just be like.
Can you imagine?
You know those sheep that when they get scared they just immediately freeze and keel over? It's kind of like that with the baby. You just lift the feet and it's just done.
Yeah, they could be like full-blown temper tantrum, throwing toys. And it's like done. Go to sleep.
Done. Nice.
That is, what a jeez, that is what a dad first. That is just. I wish there was some sort of trophy that could be given to you.
We should make
relish and show to everybody.
Yeah, it's probably just a cup of coffee.
It's a statue with the heels up above the waist.
Yeah.
Yes. On a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
It was the perfect storm of dozy. I was playing a game that was, in its narrative arc, was in a very quiet zone. And I had a glass of scotch, and my feet were up, and everybody else was asleep. The apartment was quiet and dark. It was just a perfect storm, and it happened. I fell asleep with a controller in my hand.
Wow.
And I woke up, and it was still a cutscene. So I decided to go to bed.
Actually, what was the first thought? What was the first thought that ran through your head when you woke up?
Well, like, I think I might have only been asleep for maybe 2 minutes. Like, I dozed. It wasn't like full on I was asleep and the PS4 went into sleep mode. It wasn't that prolonged, but it was like, you know, when like you nod off and your head sort of
ride? Like you're just like, whoa.
Yeah, it was
like the morning train,
but like maybe like 5 Mississippis kind of thing. And
because I would have thought of it as like, oh God, I am my father. It's happened.
Yeah, that's it.
I've had that when falling asleep during like TV shows and stuff, and it's just like, oh, I'm turning into my dad, and I'm starting to do that thing.
It's true though, like you
so
need your afternoon naps.
I'm starting to
like that.
I think.
See, if we ever do this show live, like the three of us in the room, what you're not going to notice, Gavin, is me and Jeff slowly propping our feet up with pillows to see if we can trigger.
That's true. We should do that. Hook it up.
Yeah. It's not that immediate. I have to be enjoying.
It'd be drinking and reclined, and listening to British accents and steampunk designs.
Yeah, that's the thing. You have to get the recipe just right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really just I just need to be a little dozy and my feet up, and then it's weird. It's like this. I used to always like, why does Dad always fall asleep when he puts his feet up after he gets home from work? I'm like, yeah, I guess maybe he had a long day. It's like, no, it's just that's what happens with my genealogy post 30. Like, you know,
wow.
I felt it creeping in when I first turned 30, and then over the last, few years, it's been getting progressively more
heavier. Yeah.
It's predictable enough now that Lindsay will make fun of me. So
that's good.
It sounds like a good level in the new dad game, where it's just like you're fighting off the terrible monster that is reclined feet and sleep it induces.
It's like I'll be noticing that I'm like, oh, I'm starting to doze. Eyelids are getting heavy. And I'm like, I want my feet up, but.
I wish the vibration of the controller just woke you up. Like that's the jolt that did it.
Yeah, the death rattle.
Yeah.
Of like, I'm dead. Yeah.
Had to go to bed.
Better go to sleep.
That is wow.
That is good.
That makes me so happy. Jeff, how about yourself? How was your weekend, fatherhood and gaming?
Fatherhood was good. We had a couple milestones with the kids. My oldest lost his first tooth, so that was an experience.
Whoa.
Blood everywhere. But it was it was not because it was bashed in or something, or he got in a fight, but He
Sounds like he's in a fight now.
yeah, something's going on. But no, he had this tooth that was wiggly for a while, and it finally popped, like it just cracked out. And okay, if I could videotape the look of absolute terror mixed with absolute excitement at the same time, like clashing, like he doesn't know what to think when he has the bloody tooth in his hand. That's what his look was. I can't explain it, but it's like, oh God, he could go one way and like scream a crying fit, or he's going the other way and jumping up and down with a bloody tooth in his hand. So he was pretty excited.
Yeah.
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 Don't don't wipe it on the bed. Don't wipe it on the bed. Please don't. But no, we had that. So we had to dive into, well, we had to Google, what does a tooth fairy give now? Like, what's the amount? What's the deal? What's the
going
rate? Yeah, exactly. I'm telling you, it changes. Is it an iTunes gift card? Do I give him an iPod? I have no idea.
Well, based on the economy and the current U.S. exchange rate,
Inflation.
factor in the mortgage, and
put on my hat here and do some taxes.
Give him some Bitcoin, it'll be fine.
Yeah, this will be worth $200 in about a year, so just hang tight.
Hang tight.
But no, that was an interesting experience.
What did you decide on, actually? And Gavin, I'd want your opinion on that too. Like that's a kid loses his first tooth. Like,
yeah.
Sorry, it's a 5-year-old, right? Like, what would you give a 5-year-old that would be worthy? That also wasn't big enough that they would start knocking out their own teeth.
Yeah, he's like, I'm rich, and he starts punching himself in the face.
Yeah, it's like, honey, have you seen my pliers?
Yeah, just run myself into this wall. That'll be okay. No, we gave him a toonie, so $2, $2, and a little Lego mini figure. So they come in like separate packages. Okay. So he got that.
Wait a minute. A toy?
Yeah. Oh man. Otherwise, the going rate is like $5-10.
What?
Yeah.
For a tooth?
Well, $5.
What's a 5-year-old gonna do?
Yeah. We actually, a funny story is I have a friend that their kid's tooth fell out in like the middle of the night or whatever, and no one has any cash on them anymore. Well, most people don't. They debit or credit is usually the going rate. But
tell me he sent it by email. He sent it by email.
It's like IOU an e-transfer of $2, sign the tooth fairy. No, they had $20 on them, so they had to leave the 20 for the kid, and the kid woke up like mind blown because he had this $20 bill. But they, quickly went in there and say, well, okay, well that's your first tooth, and then after that it kind of drops down. Not $20 each time. That's going to be insane. That's going to run them into the poorhouse. But
see, I was worried that was going to go one of two ways. That like instead of them having the $2 to give, that like the kid woke up and he found the $20 bill, but he was missing like 9 more teeth.
You're like, let's make it worth it. Yank, yank.
All right, champ, you're eating soup for a while. Let's do this.
Yeah. No, we found the toonie and the little Lego thing, which is again another $2, worked well. So he was happy with that.
Yeah, I think
that's getting dangerously close to Christmas territory, though.
Yeah.
Everything's a present.
But like, okay, when I was a kid, I got enough for like maybe a candy bar. If I was lucky, maybe a Hot Wheel car.
Yeah. Well, Hot Wheels now are like what, $4 or something.
Yeah, that's true. It's like.
But yes. When you guys reach that level, it might be totally different. You might just give out Bitcoin, like you said. I don't know.
Yeah,
I might make him pay me.
Yeah,
you lost a tooth. That cost you $2. Oh no.
Yeah, that's a $2 organic disposal fee.
Here's Daddy's
empties. Your tab.
You can just cash those in. No, but we had that as like a first milestone, and then my youngest, who just turned 3, we got him a big boy bed, so there's no more cribs. Potty train is locked up. We have no more diapers in the house. I'm seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, just in terms of
living the dream.
I know, living the dream. No more diapers. So that's been actually a good experience. He's been really good with it. My firstborn was not good with with his own bed. He would just get up all the time and get out of his room. But this one thinks the floor is lava or something. He just stays in his bed. He might be petrified. I don't know. But I don't hear screams of terror, so he's okay.
Yeah, you just need to like go get Like if you find your kid has to get up all the time, just go to like the fishmongers and buy an octopus and just like have it poking out from under the bed and just leave it there.
Well, yes, that's true. For some reason, I'll tell you. Okay, this is a bad dad story. Okay, but you know how you can find out your kids' fears. So you guys will get into this when they start really communicating with you. But my firstborn, Jude, he was terrified of Triton in Little Mermaid. Terrified of him, right? So if he got out of his bed,
Of course he was.
Triton might come on the YouTube and talk to him, saying, "Get back in your bed," or yell at him to try and turn around and get in his room. With my youngest, he's terrified of Chewbacca. So you might hear a YouTube Chewbacca yell to motivate him to stop. So it
Oh,
might
hold
be
on. So you're actually
psychological
playing
warfare.
the sounds in the. Yeah, you're playing the sounds in the background of their greatest fears.
Oh, not all night, just like a little pulse of it.
Oh,
Just
okay.
a little like,
It's
here's a reminder.
program the sleep sheep to just
It's not like I have a
Your
life-size
nightmares.
doll in their rooms or something. That
you
would
just
be
have a
nice,
costume on the ready.
So you looked at the landscape of motivation,
Yes.
and you took a beeline for stick as opposed to carrot.
Well, we tried A, B, and C, and we got to
It's a
Z.
scary stick.
The scary. I just imagine like buying like a Chewbacca doll and like putting her around the corner. Dun,
Yeah.
dun, dun,
Yeah.
dun.
Well, the funny part is he loves Darth Vader, hates Chewbacca. Like he loves Darth Vader, hates Chewbacca. So I don't know. It's
Yeah,
been
and then Triton as well. Like he's a
Yeah,
good guy as
yeah,
opposed
he's-
to being Ursula's terrifying.
right, but he yells at Ariel and when she's in trouble, and he loves Ursula because she's an octopus, and that's cool. So my kids are a little bit different. They like the bad guys in there. That's all. But it's been good. I will say it's been a good experience. And then gaming wise, just to get to that, I've been playing the Order. I've been awake during it. But it's
I
been
hear it's better that way.
Sick burn.
it's been a good experience. I never would have bought it full price, but for like $8 on a flash sale, yeah, sign me up. And it's beautiful.
How do you guys feel-
It's a beautiful game.
Oh yeah, it's so pretty, and some of the weapon designs are really cool, and some of
Yeah, it's got a lot of cool elements to it too, right?
yeah.
Can I ask you guys what you think of how you felt with the length? Because I know that was a big bit of a controversy online, just around like it was way too short, blah blah. How do you guys feel about it?
I'm not totally done it yet, so Gavin, don't spoil it. But
I'm probably behind you by now. So.
But no, it's been pretty good. I kind of rate it to. I almost think of the first Uncharted game. If you've ever played that, it had its flaws, but it was probably like 11 hours long.
Yeah.
So I think from reviews, this ran like 8 or something. But for a dad, that is a perfect length for me. In between other games, like I've got The Witcher, like I always talk about, right? Which is a crazy amount of time and effort. So for this one, it's just a short get in, get out for me.
And to be completely honest, I'm kind of tired of these mega long open
Yeah,
world
right?
maps with all this stuff going. It's just like I just grabbed a KillZone Shadowfall.
Oh, right, yeah.
Because I wanted something that was pretty and linear. Like I just tell me a story, hold my hand, walk me down this hallway, tell me what to shoot.
Exactly, yeah.
Would you say how would you describe the story? Would you call it like a bedtime story or?
What, put you to sleep kind of story? Is that what we're doing?
There's no steampunk British guys lulling you to sleep. I kept my
American
feet
accents
flat on the floor.
really clear.
Yeah.
No, that's another good one though. It's just these short stories. They have their place, right? And then most people will complain that it's not going to run 40 hours, but they're teenagers with time on their hands.
Yeah.
Give me a good game, my lawn chair.
There's also just the factor of like what the game is costing you. Like with these games, one, we're buying them later on, so they're a little bit more budget. But like, would have I spent $70 or $80 on Killzone Shadowfall? Probably not.
Yeah.
Just because the duration of time spent in it. But like, it's also hard to price point it because the amount of like actual work hours that go into creating this thing. They still
Yeah.
have to price point it to make money to make more stuff. So it's tough. Like, you want to support the studios by buying their game at full price, but you also feel like you need is finding that nice balance between return on your investment as a consumer, but also return on their investment as a content provider. So it's tough because, like, yeah, you want to get it on sale, you want to get it for a reasonable price, um, but if not, if you do get it full price, like, you feel like you want to get more than a dozen hours out of it because you start to compare it to, like, going to the movies or things like that. So
Yeah. Well, and people are starting to go one of two ways, right? It's like, okay, you can buy, let's say, Battlefront, right? $60 full game. You can have a great time with it. But then they have DLC, 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 right? So then you're spending more money to kind of complete this game. And the order is like, well, you could spend $60 when it came out for this really well put together story so far, and the textures and the lighting and the gunplay. And that costs money to do. There's no DLC, but you get the complete package, right? So where do you want to spend your money, right? And if you don't want it, you don't buy it.
don't get it. Yeah.
Vote with your wallet, right? So
Yeah. But,
Yeah.
that's good.
Tricky balancer. So I guess I'll interject then with so speaking of long games though, for myself from gaming, I bit the bullet and ended up buying Final Fantasy IX for iPhone.
Oh, did you?
I did it. Pulled the trigger.
Nice.
I had been looking for that deep mobile experience and hadn't really found anything, and just, I don't know, something about the stars just aligned, and it's like, nah, this thing has to happen.
Right.
I'll say this, we've delved into some nostalgia pieces before, and I could say I have only once ever had such a wave of amazing nostalgia as I did when I started playing this game again. Like, it took me aback. Like, I couldn't believe it. Like, the emotions that were just kind of washing over me as I was going through it, because I'd spent such good time, as enjoyable and just everything that moment with this game, to be going through it again and knowing what's coming up and the intro, the same characters, like, God, like, it was unbelievable. And actually, and I can quickly, as an aside, I can remember the other time it happened. It was actually for the Final Fantasy VII movie.
Oh, right, yeah.
The full CG one, and there's a scene in the middle when they're fighting Bahamut, or Bahamut,
Yep.
how do you say that?
I don't
And well, I'm gonna go with Bahamut, and because that sounds the funniest, and it's clearly wrong. So, but
You'll be
they're
corrected,
fighting.
don't worry.
Absolutely. But at this particular part of the scene, all the old characters show up. So Yuffie shows up, Barrett, the Sid shows up, just one by one by one, and they all get together and beat him. Like, that was just mind blowing to me. I think I still get goosebumps when I watch that scene. So anyway, but that's the experience with this game, and I'm so happy I bought it. I'm so happy I'm playing it. Like, it's just such a fantastic time. And otherwise with gaming, has still not beaten Street Fighter 3, the arcade version.
Oh, my God, buddy.
Man, I'm trying, man. I am trying.
You gotta do it.
This isn't like I looked up how to do some combos. I found some strategies. And I'll say this: there's one you can tend, because it's computer AI. I can usually end up finding a bit of a exploit. You know, if you like the AI is not very sophisticated, and if you jump in at this one point and like sweep kick him, like, he'll fall down every time.
Right.
But I don't want to win like that, because this is, for me, training for Street Fighter V.
Right. This is
literally
a little background, right? This is your road to Street Fighter V championship.
Exactly. So fine, I could quote unquote beat it, like, barely, but I'm trying to beat it in such a way that I'm mastering it and, like, doing everything appropriately. So it's just, God, I'm so bad. As I say every week, I'm so bad at this game. God, like, I should have chosen anything else, like Rocket League, but
too late. Now you're committed. You need to do this.
Yeah, I mean,
for yourself.
But even so, beating, like, I'll say one of the keys has certainly been a bit of a mind shift as far as losing, but losing appropriately, in the sense that, okay, in this match, I'm going to try to make sure that I punish him anytime he tries to jump in. right? Like that's one of the big ones. Anytime they jump in, you give them like a block, or you know, give them an uppercut to stop them. Like that's a very important part of it. So even with these computer opponents, anytime they try it, I'm making sure to punish them. I end up losing the match, but I 90% of the time punish his jump-ins. So that's good, or do like the blocking things. So it's certainly feeling like an education. It's just getting a little embarrassing at this point. Like I literally for this show, I was trying to beat it before we got on air, because it's like if I have to say again, I still haven't beaten the arcade version. Like I didn't want to admit it publicly.
Now it's out there. Now you're done.
Yeah.
It's
The high.
This is all about sharing. Okay.
It's very cathartic. First
Maybe
step to
you
having a
can
Street Fighter problem.
Go to like a local college or university and see if you can find someone to like mentor you and like really train you as like the wizard, like that old movie, like the wizard with Mario 3, and you'll just get a power glove or something and end up being Street Fighter 5 champion.
Yeah, get into a dojo. See, the thing I will say, as far as like the quote unquote the power glove in this version is a fight stick. As far as I can tell, fight sticks go for no, man, those things go for like somewhere between $50 to $100.
It's an investment, Trevor. How are you gonna be so good? You need to learn on the stick.
Yeah.
As far as reading online about this, as far as a path, like they do really promote the idea of playing somebody in person. So when I do get back in the country, I have some plans to try to find meetup groups nearby where I could try to go and play with other people and just try to learn as much as I can. I have a lot of fears about being the 30-year-old amongst 14-year-olds.
You should do that and bring the baby.
Yeah,
bring the
this
baby.
Is a buffer. This isn't for me, it's for him. He just likes the flashy colors.
Yeah. You're just trying to rock him to sleep and play at the same time.
Oh man, so we'll see. So you know, as part of that, I mentioned that obviously when I get back in the country, so we're still down here in Colombia. It's been a fantastic time. I mean, Jeff, I mean, you had traveled once with your kids, and I wonder if you have any similar experiences. But ultimately, I'm really astonished at how much more accepting they are of babies here and kids, like how welcoming they are of it. Like you go into a restaurant and they bring her on the table and everybody's smiling like, oh, look at this baby, this is great. Carolina went into a store and the woman like finds a toy somewhere behind the counter and lets them run around the store and everyone's like happy and laughing and it's great. Like it's great for you to have a baby here and everybody's like, hey, wonderful, a baby, like this is excellent. Like try bringing it, like you guys know, like try when you bring your kids to a restaurant in Canada, like you are Hitler.
Whoa,
right? Like
restaurant? Are we talking like Tim Hortons? Because we can do that, but what restaurant?
Even then, you bring in Tim Hortons and you sit yourself beside a table that's with other people, and you try not getting death stares.
Yeah.
Like, people hate. I've just gotten some impression, like they're decent, but ultimately it just feels like people in Canada, maybe it's the same in the States as well, but like they just seem to hate people with babies and they don't want them around.
We've actually been doing all right.
Okay. So
Like,
people just hate me.
Well, maybe it's your neighborhood though. Like our neighborhood,
there we go. Yeah.
a lot of babies. So like we'll go to like a few of our local restaurants and they'll set us up with high chairs and like the servers will say hello. Sometimes like even adjacent tables, like customers will come over and be like, oh, look at your baby. We've actually found that like at least our neighborhood very accepting of people with kids, but our neighborhood, like the sidewalks are just like it's like a caravan of strollers all the time. Like it's just it looks like the 401 with like tractor trailers. For those of you who aren't in Canada, 401 is just a highway. I keep forgetting sometimes. But yeah, this neighborhood's okay. Like I have seen moments where I've felt a little ostracized as a parent, but for the most part, like people are pretty cool with it. But I do know of other parents that I've spoken to who have been hit with those moments of like oh, you spawned, and they give you that love.
Ew.
And it's just like
Way to ruin the planet with more people. Ugh.
I know.
Just wait until you get 2, and then you go to a restaurant. Then get those stairs, double door. You're like, oh god. Because what will happen is that usually if you get sat in a booth or something, I'll take the side with the other adults on the other side, right? So they don't get a kid peering over or something. But
I
when you
used to
have
do that when I was a kid
two,
all the
I
time.
know, right? But
Yeah.
when you have two, you have to split them up. Otherwise, it's so much worse.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
one's with me and one's with my wife, and that keeps them sane. But they both look over opposite ends of the booth, and now you're bugging two sets of people versus the one. So yeah, I
Jeez,
think
see, it might be.
Like,
Go
sorry, I was just gonna say, like, there are certain restaurants where there's kids, and there's certain restaurants where there's not. And
yeah, yeah,
like, you know, the restaurant, like when we go out for a really, really fancy meal, like the restaurant that you don't bring kids to because, okay, well, here's the thing. If the restaurant has crayons at the hostess stand, suck it up. There's gonna be kids there. You know, like, so if you're going out to eat and there's a stack of kids menus and crayons at the front entrance, like, you know, buyer beware. You're
yeah,
about to step
yeah.
into a territory
Danger zone. Yeah.
that might have families. So like, you relinquish the right to glare at the parents for bringing their children out in public instead of keeping them home in the shame cupboard.
Shit.
With the
I think,
Chewbacca sound going.
Yeah,
well,
so it's
yeah, that is,
like I understand if, like, let's say you bring a baby to a restaurant where it's like, like a Michelin star rated, like a head chef that yells at a sous chef all day long, like that style of restaurant. If you bring a baby there, it's no fun for the customers and it's no fun for the baby, like for the kid. Like it's one of those restaurants where it's like, this isn't fun. Why does everybody look sad? I don't get it. Why are there little fires on the table? Um, they don't want to be there. They want to be at a place like a Swiss Chalet where they get to eat something fun and
Right, right,
color
yeah.
on a piece of paper.
Yeah.
yeah. I'll give them true bones. I mean, ultimately, like, yeah, it's certainly not. Because even myself, being a parent, I would still throw shade at a parent that would, for instance, maybe bring your kids to the keg. Because
Oh yeah,
it's
exactly.
Yeah.
that's not appropriate.
The
No.
keg doesn't have kids menus. Like that's the thing is like the keg is meant for like adult dates.
Right.
It's not catered. It's not a family restaurant, but a place
Yeah.
like
Then there's also
or a Swiss Chalet or yeah, there are thresholds of
yeah. And then the other case would be even in places that are relatively accepting of it, like the parents who just completely abandon it, like where the kid is just running up and down the aisles and between tables and such. It's like,
yeah.
but that's a. I know this place is friendly, but it's not
But that's the
a
thing is
playground.
everybody gives those parents stink stares, even other parents.
Yeah, that's true.
That's
True. You're ruining it for the rest of us.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially other parents because they're like, hey, keep your kid in order. You're ruining this. Like, and not only that, but your kid's rambunctiousness is contagious. And it's going to get my kid going. So get your kid in check before I have to get my kid in check. And it's like you don't want to have to be disciplining your kid because of something that was instigated by some other person's crazy kid who they have no control over. So, but yeah, I totally agree. Like there are certain places where there shouldn't be, and there's also certain instances where the parents are at fault because they're not really, if your kid gets really fussy and loud and starts crying, take them for a walk. Like, do something about it. Like be considerate of the other patrons, but there are certain parents who just don't care.
You always
So
find those people
so I think the location might play a part too because we're pretty close to hipster village.
Yeah.
So young cool people don't want to be seeing that nonsense.
They don't want you there. They don't want to see the consequences.
Yeah.
They don't want to see next step, next level.
You're in a neighborhood that's terrified of adulthood. So you with a
There
child,
I'm prancing around.
Yeah, you're
emblematic of it.
holding adulthood in their faces.
So that certainly all makes sense. I think, but even still, like so, even walking back my perhaps too ambitious of statement around it, I will absolutely say though, like just the embrace that you receive here with kids is just staggering. Like, and I would say I'd put money down that you got. Yeah, it's just every place you go, and it's just unanimous would be a great way to say it. It just seems to be everywhere. Like it's just constant smiles and constant happiness. Like I would, as an experiment, once this podcast makes mad bank, we'll fly you both down so we can get the live report.
There you go.
You know we launched like 3 days ago,
Yeah.
right?
Just hit that
Hey,
subscribe button.
Yeah.
So I got currently on a near an airport, so planes going over top. Sorry if there's noise in the background.
That's good for babies too.
Yeah.
You just point to them and they just stare at the sky, just wondering what vehicle is up there.
Yeah.
My son used to call them
Metal
airbots. It was wicked. I thought they were like Transformers.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Airbots. Such a better name.
Yeah.
Like Mobular.
And you know you should correct them, but you don't want to correct them
No.
ever.
Yeah.
Live that dream. Just go for it.
Yeah.
You kind of want to change everything else for that reality.
That's the thing. Sometimes kids just find a better combination of words, and you're like, I know it's wrong, but it's better. So let's just
Yeah.
play with it for a bit.
If that's wrong, I don't want to be right.
Yeah. But then there's always the mistake of you forget to correct them eventually, and then you end up never correcting them, and then one day, like years down the road, a circumstance comes up where they have to describe something, and they default to that term.
Oh no, yeah.
And it's like, it's like their first day in college, and they say like airbot, and then like it's done for
Then
it.
your mind is just blown like, I've been making an idiot out of myself.
It's like, yeah,
I've actually done that. I do that with my wife, unfortunately, because English being her second language.
Oh, buddy.
As a small example, like constantly you see a lot of words like flipped around from English to Spanish. So she'll call it control remote, as opposed to remote control.
Yes.
But it's so endearing. It's so cute. I don't want it to change. So I never correct her because I'm just like, ah.
She doesn't know, right? She just found out now. Live
Yeah.
reaction.
She doesn't. Oh, she doesn't listen to the show. Are you kidding me?
That's hilarious.
She gets me in trouble when I don't correct her later on.
when somebody else does, like I've been saying it that way in front of him for years, and then finally, like,
wouldn't she just do the same to you? Like, wouldn't she just, if you say something wrong?
Man. Jeez, I might get my comeuppance.
Yeah. You wait a few decades from now when senility kicks in, you'll be doomed.
They always get the last laugh.
They always get the last laugh. Trevor, that's not where pants. Never mind.
Live your life. Be happy.
Live your life. It's
You do you.
adorable.
Earbots.
Who am I to correct you?
Yeah.
No, Mobular,
stop.
Trevor. Well, whatever.
Stop ripping your teeth out. I'm not giving you any more Legos. Oh, so well, gentlemen, I might suggest that we call that a wrap. So everyone, thanks for listening once again. If you have any ideas for shows or questions, please reach out to us on our website at newdadgaming.com. You can find our podcast, brand spanking new, on iTunes and wherever fine podcasts are served up. Thanks again. We do this every week, and thank you once again for listening. And as always, I am Trevor, and I have a 10-month-old.
I'm Gavin. I have an almost 9-month-old.
And I'm Jeff. I have a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old.
Wonderful, guys. We'll see you next week.
See ya. Happy launch day.